Weather's chief meteorologist, Chase Jones.
Well, it's feeling like a hair dryer out there, a blow dryer, a hair dryer. Either way, it's just hot and windy. Now, I spent so much time off during the dentist, I even figured out my wife's schedule. She should be walking through the door right about now. So hi, honey, as we look at some of this hot air make its way into the Concho Valley, and we're tracking those temperatures over the last 24 hours, definitely just shy of the triple-digit mark, making our way from those mid-90s back down into those lower 70s and right back up into those mid-90s. We'll see if we don't have a few more degrees before we start cooling down right back down into those 70s, but we're on the cool down by the end of the week, somewhere in those lower 90s. Still holding on to a little bit of heat, but cold air definitely on its way with a blocking pattern. 95 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of mid to lower 90s across the entire area. Shades of pink around the entire Concho Valley. 102 in Robert Lee, 92 over there in Brady, 93 down there in Junction. So 10 degrees definitely out there, but it's a million. So definitely find a shady spot and continue to put on lots of sunscreen. Dew points are down there in those 60s, while humidity indices are in those 30s. Of course, we're keeping our eye on lower elevations to see how that moisture value makes its way up. But on the moisture tracker, we're watching those shades of green fight their way back in with shades of blue on their way out. Now, at the bottom of your screen, I'm going to keep talking about this for the next couple of days, if not the next couple of weeks. Down in the Gulf, around the Yucatan Peninsula, some interesting formation and definitely trying to circulate some organization taking place because hurricane season is going strong, at least in the eastern Pacific. Now, the upper level pattern is going to show you the blocking pattern that I'm talking about. Here comes the cold air sinking down from the west. It's going to try to cut off from the upper level system. Over the eastern part of the United States, nothing but high pressure in the Concho Valley, caught right in the middle of it. Now, as this low pressure gradually works its way down across the west coast, this is going to cool us all the way down into those mid-90s for a beautiful Juneteenth and a beautiful parade. I'm keeping my eye on those conditions, but a little bit of rain could work its way in with some of this tropical-like conditions. Now, the water vapor imagery showing us some pretty impressive convection around Kansas and Nebraska. Every storm chaser currently crossing Wichita, while we see that dry air sliding off towards the south with it exploding around Louisiana. Severe weather outlook. That bullseye is absolutely huge and nowhere near the Concho Valley. Down at the surface, look at the size of this tornado watch box. It's absolutely huge, but down here in the Concho Valley, right on the tail end of all this cloud cover. Now, we talk about hurricane season because we're looking at Tropical Storm Eric. Now, it's slated to become a Category 2 before downgrading right before it makes onshore landfall, but we'll see if it doesn't work its way up the west coast, and it could fight its way into the Concho Valley. Now, Futurecast is going to show you how all these systems continue to rip across Oklahoma all night, but we're right on the tail end of it. As we get closer towards Wednesday and Thursday, Juneteenth, of course, we're watching that moisture fight back and forth. Now, upper level clouds and moisture are going to collide before it does down here on the surface. That's where we're going to see that cloud cover fight back and forth before we make our way into a beautiful weekend. So tonight, all the way back down into those mid-70s, I'm keeping my eye on those winds, so you might want to eat inside. So tomorrow, a good run at those triple digits, but we should be just shy of it. So we're continuing to drink lots of water and practice the hot weather safety as we get closer towards that weekend. Did you see that guy? He was throwing a whole bucket of fish out there into the river. Definitely get out there and take advantage of all those beautiful activities because things are going to cool off and get mighty comfortable while those overnight lows continue to stay in those mid-70s. Stay tuned. Welcome over to the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.